So the Leadership Institute, they're a great partner with us. They help a lot of our chapters out with resources, trainings, all the above. Teaching digital activism training is actually Cabot Phillips. And for those who are not familiar with him, he actually became a little bit YouTube famous himself by convincing his girlfriend or his friend or something that there was a zombie apocalypse. He actually got on the Ellen DeGeneres show and all the above, so he's definitely a great person to learn from. So please welcome Cabot Phillips to the stage.
It was my little sister, not my girlfriend, that we convinced of the zombie apocalypse, but you know, we get them mixed up sometimes. I want to clarify that. How you guys doing today? Woo! Yeah! They're pumped up. All right, today we're talking digital activism, how not to suck at it, how to be the freaking man or woman. I put the woman in parentheses. I don't want to leave out the ladies here. They're killing it. So we're going to talk about how to fight back once you get to college and how to fight back on your high school campus as well. So kind of get a feel for the room. What age group most of you guys? Do we have any rising freshmen in high school? Any rising sophomores? Rising juniors? Let me hear for the seniors. Woo! Anyone going to college? Rising freshmen in college? All right, good. We got all high schoolers here. This is good. No one likes college kids anyway, except for the seniors who are almost college kids. I like you guys. Anyway, moving on. Just a quick introduction about me in case that intro didn't make you want to listen to me. Hopefully, I'll be able to give you some more reasons to want to listen. I grew up in Atlanta, Georgia. Anyone here from the South? Yeah, the South, where we put sugar in everything and fry things that don't need to be fried, but we love it because it's the South. Grew up in Atlanta. I moved up to DC to work at the Leadership Institute. I attended Liberty University, great school in Virginia, private Christian school, awesome place. I was the digital grassroots director for the Marco Rubio campaign. Rest in peace to that campaign, blessings up. So I did social media and video activism, stuff like that for the Rubio campaign. And if you're still listening and this is called a shameless Twitter plug, where I have no real reason to put my Twitter handle on there except for the fact that I'm wanting you guys to follow me and then tweet at me so we can interact after this. If you were looking for like a clever way for me to like tie in why I put that in there, I'm not gonna have it. I'm just literally putting it up there shamelessly. So don't expect anything else other than that. But if you're still listening and you're like, okay, Cabot, like why should we really be listening to you? Like what really is this? Who are you? Like what are your credentials? I'll let this speak for itself. I once was kicked off the Frozen ride at Disney for, quote, singing too enthusiastically and scaring the young children. So, yeah, pretty impressive, I know. All the other stuff in my career, like, pales in comparison to that. So that just kind of shows that clearly you should be listening to me because I have the ability to do that at Frozen rides. But moving on, just kind of a quick disclaimer for this presentation today. If at any point I make a joke and it's not funny, which there will be a lot of jokes that aren't funny. I'm like a kind of a machine gun joke person where I make a lot and some of them are gonna hit, like a lot of them aren't. If for any reason I make a joke that I feel like doesn't get the laughter that it deserves, I will just simply say, please clap. And at that point, you guys will clap. It'll make me feel good, which is really important. It'll make you feel good, so please clap. Yeah, stop. Thank you. Thank you, I appreciate it. Thanks, Jeb. Jeb just looks so sad all the time, but did anybody here vote for Jeb? Oh, you guys aren't 18 yet, never mind. Anyway, Jeb, he's a nice guy. We'll move on from Jeb, but yeah, so now you guys know. So the theme of today is that they don't want you to win. Who can tell me who this is? DJ Khaled. All right, and for a book, we're gonna give out a book. Who can tell me the name of his album that came out? No, wait, is it Major? I thought it was I Got the Key. All right, there you go. Major Key, you're right. Anyways, so you may be asking, I hear some of you asking, Cabot, who is they? What do you mean they don't want me to win? What are you talking about? I'm gonna give you some examples of they. First example of they, Bernie Sanders. Second example of they, Hillary Clinton. Third example of they, Barack Obama. Fourth, that's actually they, not they. Just kidding. I'm sorry, there's no real reason for that to be in there, but that's just a beautiful picture of Taylor. I'm getting distracted, I'm sorry. Anyway, the first three, that is they, and they is the left. And the left, notice how they're all laughing. The left is laughing at us conservatives. They're laughing because for too long, they have dominated social media. They have dominated our high school campuses and our college campuses, but no more. We're gonna take a stand. Please clap. You guys are clapping for the stand that we're gonna take. So this is perfect. See, now like all my points have more emphasis now. So what are problems facing young conservatives? You guys have all faced a lot of these already, I'm sure, on your high school campuses, but some quick problems we're gonna go run through, and then how we can use social media and specifically digital media to fight back against these problems. First problem, harassment from liberal teachers and professors. This is something that you're probably gonna encounter a lot more once you get onto college campuses, but something that I'm sure you guys are already going through right now on your high school campuses. So I'm sure you guys already have teachers that are going after you, making fun of you for being conservative, making fun of you for voting or supporting Republicans, making fun of you for your religious beliefs. This happens all the time, so we're gonna get into that in a bit. Next up is coursework and required reading that is like obviously liberal. So this is your teachers making you read things that are clearly very liberal in nature and making it mandated too, so you can get in trouble if you don't. Next up is a lack of funding for conservative organizations. So a lot of times, at your high school, you're trying to start a Young Republicans club, a whatever, NRA club, a pro-life club, whatever it is. We'll see a lot of times professors and principals and administrators at schools try and remove funding from those groups. So we're gonna talk about that. And the last one is social justice warrior Jigglypuffs. These are probably the most dangerous of all of the problems facing young conservatives. And if you're wondering what a social justice warrior Jigglypuff looks like, here's one example. If you see that look in their eye where the eyebrows furrow as if like, I can't believe you have triggered me with your whatever list of anything, probably is triggering people. And then further, if you need further proof, this is what a Jigglypuff looks like. Let's see. Oh, there we go. So that is a trick. We're gonna get to the full video in a little bit. It is pretty dangerous to look at too much, but that's a person being triggered. We're gonna get to that. That's Jigglypuff, correct? We will get there. But moving on. Forgot how many of these things I had. Is that Lena Dunham? I think it's Lena Dunham. I don't know. The point of digital activism, actually, is to use digital media to further the conservative message and fight back against liberalism. Like I said, for too long, the left has really dominated social media, and a lot of it is because conservatives and Republicans, for the most part, libertarians, haven't really invested their time or their money into social media. And that's changing, and it's changing. It starts now. If you guys get involved now at an early age, it's going to be critical for you guys being able to go out through your college phase and through your young career, be able to use social media to fight back against the left. So moving on, step one is take videos of everything. That's the key thing right now, is having video proof of things that happen specifically to you at political events or at your school. So we all have that one. Who can tell me what show this is? Anybody? Boy Meets. Nice. That was good. That was a lot more people than I was expecting. Yeah, Boy Meets World. So we all have that one friend on our Facebook who's always like comments on your Facebook status when you tell a story and like pics or it didn't happen, or like tweets you like, oh, you got videos? Well, it didn't happen. Like we all hate that person. Well, this is to combat that person. That's kind of how society is in general. Because if you have something happen to you, and you put up a status about it, or you tweet about it, it's not really gonna have that much of an effect. People aren't really gonna believe you. But when you have a video of it, it instantly validates what you're saying. It instantly makes it more credible. So we're gonna talk about that. Video tells a story that words can't. So kind of an example of this, if you have an experience that you want to get news coverage, and you want to get viral, or you want to get into the kind of the national media, having a video instantly helps. So if the press is looking to cover something, and they see a high school student, put up a status, it's kind of hard for them to believe what you're saying. But if you have a video to go with it, it totally adds credibility. It makes it something that they want to cover because they can see the emotion, they can see exactly what's happening. So make a video. The four main types of videos that we're going to get into are hostile left-wing activists. These are fun. Charlie's dealt with plenty of these. Professors' liberal rants, or teachers' liberal rants. Emotional Facebook confessional. We'll get into what those are. And just owning liberals in general. That's a beautiful, beautiful thing. So the first example is hostile left-wing activists. So kind of an example of why a video is so effective in spreading exactly what's going on and changing the narrative. So if you just were at an event, and you said, I was at an event on my campus, or I was at an event at my school, and this crazy girl got up and started screaming about how triggered she was. That's like mediocre post, like 5 or 6 likes, not bad. But you put a video to it, and it instantly changes the whole narrative. So we're gonna watch this video. Prepare yourself, because we're about to see a Trigglypuff in the wild.
One more disruption we have to ask you.
Just to preface this is at UMass, I believe UMass Amherst, and this was at a Milo Yiannopoulos, Steven Crowder, Christina Hoff Summers event. And as we all know, Milo likes to trigger people, so this is a young lady being triggered by Milo.
One more disruption we have to ask you to leave the venue.
My free speech!
You have to obey the rules of the venue.
But this is free speech if you're so concerned!
Please keep your comments. Please keep your comments to the Q&A section.
Keep your hate speech out of this campus! Utter madness!
So she thankfully got worn out pretty quickly, thankfully. But that is a good example of what someone who's triggered looked like. So this is a great way to change the whole narrative of an event. So when the news is covering an event like this and they hear students talking about, yeah, there were these crazy protesters there, the media and people on social media in general and your peers will hear that and be like, oh, okay, like maybe not really believe you, or if they do believe you, they don't really know what it looks like. But in this case, you add a video to it and it changes the whole media narrative. So as a result of this, it was just a normal student took a video of this, put it on YouTube, it went completely viral, all these articles were written about it, and it changed the whole narrative to people now realizing, wow, these liberal protesters on this campus are completely, hypocritical. They're saying, I'm gonna protest your event and shut it down in the name of tolerance. Literally makes no sense. So as a result of this, this is my favorite part. In the few days following this story, if you just typed in UMass, the first two things that came up were Trigglypuff and triggering. That's amazing. So the girl was nicknamed Trigglypuff, for those of you who don't know, which is kind of mean, but also kind of accurate, let's be honest. And so it just shows the impact. This one student who just pulled out a video in an event, put it on social media, and next thing you know, it is changing the way Google searches are going, and it's impacting the entire conversation around this campus. So example 2 is a liberal professor ranting at you guys, or just a liberal teacher ranting at you guys. So kind of the steps of what I would suggest doing and what we at Campus Reform do. To kind of give a quick rundown on what I do at Campus Reform, we are a publication that covers liberal bias and abuse on college campuses. So we don't cover too much stuff on high school campuses, but in colleges it's just running rampant that we're able to cover. So we will get videos of professors or videos of students harassing conservatives or making fun of them or whatever it is, and we will cover it and get it in the national media. So some examples and some suggestions and steps that we would advise. Step 1 is talking to your teacher. If you've got a teacher that's going after you or making you feel uncomfortable being conservative, they may not even realize they're doing it. They may really harmlessly be doing it. A lot of times it will be malicious, but sometimes they won't realize it. So we would suggest to talk to your teacher about it, make sure they know about it, and then if it continues, filming and recording them. I'm not actually sure if you're able to film in your high school classes. I'm not sure how that works. This is more for, you guys do it anyway. Okay, everyone has their phone. So yeah, just if you do it, don't say that I told you to. But anyways, moving on. So then, and then if it continues, send the footage to us at contact@campusreform.org, or send it to Hypeline or whoever it is that you want to give it to. I'm obviously going to say send it to us, but we've got a lot of Hypeline people here who are, I'm sure, filming videos like that too. Friendly competition. Kind of an example of this, a success story of a student who did film, and something you guys can keep an eye out for in your own classrooms as well as at a college. So this was at Eastern Connecticut University, and this was a student who had constantly been telling people that his professor was making fun of Republicans, and no one believed him. So finally he took it into his own hands and recorded the class. So this is just an audio recording of what happened.
This misogynist, money-grubbing people have so much power over the rest of us and want things to go back, not to 1955 or to 1855. There are a lot of people out there that say that do not want black people to vote, do not want Latinos to vote, do not want old people to vote, or young people to vote. Because generally, people like you are liberal.
So as you can see, Professor basically literally calling Republicans racist, misogynist, money-grabbing people, saying that we don't want anyone to be able to vote, things like that. So the student recorded it, and as a result, he got wrecked. The professor did. It was all over Fox, national media talking about it. And as a result, just the ultimate power move, the House GOP leader in Connecticut sent a letter to him forcing him to apologize publicly. And so the guy did. He had to apologize or face losing his job. So that's like literally the state GOP just being like, bow down, like kiss the ring, like, oh yeah, like suck it. Please clap. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Stop. We got a standing O from one right here. Okay, 2 standing up, man. I'm on fire, yes. Anyways, moving on, some more examples. Example 3 is an emotional Facebook video. You don't actually have to look like this. Who can tell me the topic of this video? Okay, I'm not even gonna give a book eye. Again, I'm underestimating you guys' knowledge of random 90s pop culture. So you don't actually have to look like this, but the importance of just filming yourself in random settings is huge. So a lot of times it's really tempting if you have like if you want to give commentary on the campaign or commentary on something that's happened to you, talk about what happened here at the Turning Point Summit. Really consider making a video, just pulling out your iPhone and holding it up, filming yourself a selfie or doing like a webcam video, whatever it is. But videos are so much more likely to go viral, and you never know what's going to catch on and what's going to really get your message out there. So if you put up a big, I'm going to stop this GIF, it's kind of scaring me, I'm sorry. But if you put up like this big, long, it's a terrible, there we go, right? Yeah, we'll stop there. But if you put up this big, long status telling a story or talking about an experience you've had, it's much less likely to gain traction. It's much less likely to have people sharing it and watching it. But all you have to do is just sit down in front of a computer or an iPhone, tell a story, tell about an event that you've been to where people were, a positive event or even a negative event that happened to you because you're conservative. It's much more likely to get traction because videos, as opposed to statuses on Facebook, the second you add a video in, the Facebook algorithm will bump your thing much up higher on people's timelines. So you're going to get a lot more traffic on your posts. So it's a much better way to spread your message. It's some other advantages. All right, we're going to quickly get through this. It's scary. Some much more advantages to writing. It conveys emotion. It's much more easy for people to see how effective you are by the story you're telling, and by, even if it's just like, your opinion on Donald Trump or your opinion on, whatever politician you want to talk about, your opinion on Hillary Clinton. If you really talk in a video, it really shows the emotion you have. It shows how deeply you care about this, how much it's impacted you, a lot more than just a written status would. It gives a face to your story, and people can really empathize with you. It's more likely to get shares. Ultimately, that's what it's about, is getting your message out there. And people are much more likely to share a Facebook video. And you can also track how much traffic it gets, because you can see exactly how many people viewed your video as opposed to a status. You don't really know who reads it, and you're not able to tell exactly who is looking at your content.
Because America's...
So this is going to be pretty loud, just a warning, but this is our very own Charlie Kirk. This is example 4 of videos. So can we give a huge applause for Charlie? Charlie's the man, right? Thank you. Where's Charlie? Charlie's probably backstage somewhere, like organizing on a bunch of different campuses, but Charlie's the guy who, like, I just assumed that he was like, 27-year-old guy who's like running this thing. And then I found out that we're the exact same age. And I realized, like, oh my gosh, like, what am I doing with my life? Like, Charlie is killing it. And I look at Charlie and he has these cool ideas. I'm like, why didn't I think of that? Like, dang it. Oh, do you say I have cooler shoes than Charlie? And my socks. How about the socks too? These are my, yeah. So these are my Ellen socks that Ellen gave us at the show. So that's very comfortable. I wish I could say that, yeah, she has her own socks and her own underwear, which I'm not wearing. I'm not going to show you guys, but I might be wearing, I'm not going to lie. But no, she has like all these clothing lines. I don't know why why am I talking about anything? Who cares? We're going with it. Anyway, so Charlie at the RNC went out and was just like freaking battling some DNC or some socialist protesters. And so that's type 4. Video number 4 is going at it with protesters and coming out victorious. So here's what that looks like. It's pretty loud, just a warning, but it feels too loud. Oh. Here we go.
Because America's...
Please clap.
Because America's been stealing from the rest of the world for years and years and years, and you don't care about the rest of the world.
One of the greatest fallacies of socialism is they think just because someone gets richer, someone must get poorer.
That's what happens.
It's antithetical to economics.
I am the one, the way your son don't need a gun to get respect up on the street. Under the sun, the bastard son will pop the clock to feed himself and family.
Charlie Kirk, ladies and gentlemen. So I don't know if he actually did that, and I wish I had time to Photoshop in, the glasses and like the blunt. Actually, no, I don't. I shouldn't have put that in there. But so I'm sure a lot of you guys saw that interaction on social media where Charlie was just like metaphorically like roundhouse kicking people to the face with his logic and economic knowledge. Something they're not used to hearing, logic, crazy concept. But anyway, so that video it was huge, making its rounds on social media. And it just shows how simple it is, where interactions like that were happening all over the place and maybe not that heated and that killer. But just because they had a video of it, it really showed exactly what happened, so much more than just writing down like, oh, Charlie Kirk just owned this guy. But like in the video, it really adds. And that video was all over social media, and it really changed the narrative of what was happening outside. It went from, dang, we have all these protesters outside, to all of a sudden the media narrative was, oh, like look at this clip you have of some of the people who are actually interacting with these protesters, and it immediately became, man, these protesters are getting owned, which is a beautiful thing. So another example of this, of owning liberals and how it can really change the whole narrative, is at the University of Missouri. There were some huge protests this year, and a student journalist was on campus trying to interview some of the protesters, and this professor came out of nowhere and was like, well, you can watch what she said.
Hi, media. Can I talk to you?
No, you need to get out.
Well,
you need to get out.
No, I don't.
You need to get out.
I actually don't.
All right. Hey, who wants to help me get this reporter out of here? I need some muscle over here.
So if you can hear what she said, she grabs this student reporter's camera and then walks over to the protesters and is like, I need some muscle over here. Like, get this reporter out. Physically threatening a student reporter. So this changed the entire conversation of what was going on in Missouri. So this one simple video from this student reporter changed the conversation from, oh man, like those poor students in Missouri, like, these liberal protesters who were keeping out all of the media, they were keeping out anyone who disagreed with them, but people kind of let them get by with it because they felt sympathetic towards them. But the second this video went up and they saw how threatening a lot of these protesters were and how closed-minded they were being and how they weren't letting any other opinions on, it really changed the whole media narrative. So as a result, that professor ended up getting fired. You never want to see anyone get fired, but at the same time, if you're not doing your job, if you are using your position and taxpayer money to make conservatives' lives miserable, then you should be fired. So she got fired. Some other advantages: offers new perspective. It shows the true intent of the left. I think the left a lot of times is good at hijacking a lot of terms and phrases that they really shouldn't. They hijack these terms like tolerance, and they hijack the terms equality and things like that, when they're really not actually about that. And so when you film them at these events and when you're able to add a face to all of this, it really kind of shows the true intent and shows kind of the face behind the mask of what this actually looks like, and how their version of equality, it's not an equality of opportunity, it's equality of outcome, and they want to rig the outcome for people, and that's what we are fighting against. And so this kind of shows the true face to that. So here's a quick example of, and also the advantage of the videos are produce a huge amount of liberal tears, which is, please clap for the liberal tears. Thank you. Thank you. So those huge amounts of liberal tears, I'm not sure what the going rate is. I think it's somewhere between like gold and silver. The liberal tears are incredibly valuable, so be ready to collect them, because hopefully you guys after this conference will be producing lots and lots of liberal tears from protesters, teachers, haters in general, shake it off, whatever it is. So yeah, this professor got fired. She claimed that she was fired because she's white, which is really interesting to me. And this is a Wall Street Journal headline. She didn't have enough white privilege, I guess, but I was fired because I'm white, which is interesting, Professor Click. But yeah, she's out of a job. Anyways, but it's important to remember the quote of Gandhi here. One of my favorite quotes in life: nothing scares a liberal more than a conservative student with an iPhone. Gandhi really knew what he was talking about. He just look at the wisdom in those eyes. Thanks for that, Gandhi. But I always remember, when I'm ever getting tired, and I'm like, is it working? Is what I'm doing working? I just look up to what Gandhi told me to keep fighting. So I don't want to assume that everyone has a smartphone. Does everyone pretty much have a smartphone of some kind for the most part? So I'm not going to say, we don't need to clap for that. Quick story. So I had been assuming, I was like, yeah, everyone has a smartphone. I foolishly assumed that. And I was at the Western Conservative Summit a couple weeks ago. Were any of you guys there at the Western Conservative Summit? Were any of you there for my talk? You were? Were you really? Oh, you're getting like a bunch of the same jokes then. Yeah, well, you're lucky because they're freaking awesome, right? Yeah. Do you remember when I told that kid he had no friends? Yeah, so that wasn't you, was it? Okay, good. So anyway, so this I'm talking, I'm like, yeah, everyone has an iPhone, like everyone has it. And one of the guys just yells out and he's like, I don't have an iPhone. And I'm like, dang, I'm getting trolled like 5 minutes into my speech. Like I can't stand for this. Like we're not gonna let this happen. So he's like, I don't have an iPhone. I'm like, yeah, well, you probably won't have any friends either. And the second I said it, I was like, oh no, I should not have said that. And like one of the staffers came up afterwards and they're like, oh yeah, like great lecture. Did you harass one of our students? I'm like, no, what are you talking about? And she's like, apparently you said some mean thing. I didn't hear the whole thing. Did you say something mean to a student? Like, no, that was my coworker. Like, no, it wasn't me. So I don't want to assume that anyone has an iPhone, but I'm not gonna make fun of any of you guys, unless you give me a reason to. I'm looking for some people to make fun of. No, I won't do it. Just kidding. We won't roast anybody. So some quick tips for recording good videos and what you guys need to do / can be doing to get the best video. This is a major key alert right here. We got a major key coming. Who can tell me, actually, this is a simple question, but what's the best, no, this is a stupid question. I'm not gonna ask this question. Basically, record in landscape. I was gonna say what's the best way to film, but you don't wanna film like this. A lot of people film videos like this. You don't wanna do that. You always wanna film like this. This is the way, yeah, am I gonna think? That's usually not like an amen moment of this talk, but yeah, I'll take it. Thank you. So you want to go like this, unless you're on Snapchat. Don't be that person that's like Snapchatting sideways. So whenever I'm like looking at my Snapchat, be like that. But you want to film like this, and I'll tell you why. Let me get my clicker real quick. It's important to film in landscape because that's what the media is looking like. So film like that. Don't film like this, and I'll tell you why. So the media. We're just gonna show you an example of why you don't want to film like this. So this was my my sophomore year of college. This is the first YouTube video I ever made. We're just gonna watch, I'll let it speak for itself.
Camp Hideaway, and we're gonna do some very special fishing. My friend Jake here.
It's a really weird video, just a warning.
Fishing with the hair. Fishing with the hair. Let's do it. We're looking good. Jake, you look a little nervous.
I feel 100% confident that I'm gonna catch a fish.
Yeah, there's a worm on his hair.
Go! Yes! 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 Trigger! Yes! 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 Yes!
So I was pretty excited about that. So the moral of this story, so I put that up, and there's not, whenever my family would be like, how's school going? I'm like, oh, like this is what we're doing. We're not studying and all, we're catching fish with our hair. No, is that a threat? Oh, is that a frat? No, at least is that a threat? I'm like, I'm not threatening anyone. That was not a frat. Although, am I a tool? I am kind of a tool, let's be honest. No, I'm not a tool. Do I look like a tool? No. It's just coming from the guy in the mint green pants, so I don't want to hear too much about, you know, being a frat bro or anything. I'm sorry. Please clap again. Yeah. No. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. We're good. We're good. Anyways, moving on from, I just promised I wouldn't harass any students too. This is not good. Sorry, Charlie. Anyways, so the reason that you don't want to film like this, because I went to bed and the video had like 200 views, and I woke up and it had like 100,000. And I had all these emails from like The Late Show, like Comedy Central, like Good Morning America, and they were all like, we love the video, like do you have a horizontal version of it? I'm like, what are you talking about? And they're like, oh, well, we have a policy where we don't use videos that are filmed vertically, and so if you don't have a horizontal version, you can't use it. And I'm like, well, I don't. So I got screwed out of like some really cool media hits because a lot of media outlets won't play video that's vertical. So if you do have a video and you film it like this, you're really limiting the ceiling for for the potential media coverage of your video. So if you're at an event and there's someone doing something absolutely crazy and you want to like quickly record it, always remember, go like this, because it's going to increase the potential media coverage for your video so much. You don't want to limit yourself. That's the last thing you want. But if at all costs, if you're in a situation where you feel like kind of awkward, you feel pressured, you don't want to film like this, just get audio, or guys, you can like stick your phone like in your shirt pocket right here. That's another thing to do, a little clever, kind of quietly hide it there. But if nothing else, just get like an audio recording of the event if you can't get anything. But Moving on, know your recording laws. This is kind of in the weeds. I don't want to talk about it too much, but it's important that you look up the laws in your state. Know the difference between one party and all party consent. So basically, the simplest way to put it is if you live in one of these states, no, you don't want to be cheering because those are all party consent states where technically the person you're filming has to know you're filming them or be in a public place where they have no expectation of privacy. I'm not going to get into that too much. But basically, the moral of the story is if you are going to film, know the laws in your state and make sure that you're not like publishing content on YouTube illegally. You don't want to get to the point where you like film a professor or a teacher and you put on YouTube and it blows up and then that teacher's like trying to sue you because, you know, you broke the law by filming them. But if they do sue you, there are great groups like FIRE, Alliance Defending Freedom, that will come alongside you and protect you and give you lawyers and everything to make sure that you're protected. But getting into the weeds a little bit. Anyways, moving on, getting the word out. So this is just kind of, this can really apply to any video. If you guys just have like a goofy video you make with your friends or a video, hopefully that is, you know, conservative minded. But it's important when you're, you know, really, if you have your own YouTube channel that you're making or you have just like a basic video you want to put out, some quick tips for spreading your video. So before posting your video, have people ready to share it. So again, this applies for any kind of video, just something you want to make go viral. Don't just put it up. Have people ready to share it. So if you've got a network of like a dozen good friends in your grade, reach out to them and be like, hey, I have this cool video I shot yesterday, or I've been working on a video for a few weeks, it's finally done. Here it is. So send it to them so that they're ready. Send it to parents, send it to, you know, teachers, coaches, whoever it is. Send it to them, make sure they're ready and say, we're all gonna share it at 6 o'clock on Tuesday night. So the importance of having people ready to share it is because the way the Facebook algorithm works is when there are a bunch of shares for one link or one post all at once in the same time frame, it stays at the top of people's news feeds much longer. Kind of obvious, and we all know that happens, but you really want to play the Facebook system. So if you all share at the same time, Facebook is like, oh, this is an important link, they pop it right to the top, and you're much more likely to get views that way. So always make sure you have people ready to share everything. Don't just post it. Send it to reporters. This is something that you may think like, oh, this isn't newsworthy, but whatever your video is, there are the odds that someone they're going to find it worthy reporting on are higher the more people you contact. So if you go on all of your like local news pages like ABC 7, Fox, you know, NBC, whatever all the local channels are, they all have like send a tip link. Send a tip to like a bunch of those. For a lot of our videos that we made for like our YouTube channel or like our whatever Man on the Street videos I was doing, we would just cold call random news agencies and say, hey, we had this video. Play up the fact that you're a student. Be like, I'm a young conservative student and I'm like, here's my opinion on this matter, or like, here's a video my friends and I made, fellow students. They really like this idea of kind of getting inside the minds of young people, especially around campaign season. So really play up the fact that you're young people. Like every time you turn on the news is always like, now for the voice of the millennial, like here's what, you know, young people are talking about these days. But too rarely they don't actually listen to young people. So this is a good chance for you to get their voice out there. I can't tell you how many times, I'm sure Charlie can attest to this too, how many times you go to Fox News and afterwards the producers are talking to you and they're saying like, yeah, we really want to feel like, you know, we're being taken to a campus or taken to talk to students. And so they really want to, they're looking for material that will kind of put them inside the minds of young people. And you guys are young people who are well-spoken and know your stuff. Use that to your advantage. You guys have leverage in being a product that the media is looking for. So give the media what they're looking for. And also finally with the videos, know what time you want to release your video. So don't just throw it up at like 9 o'clock in the morning on a Friday. Release it, the best time is usually like 3 o'clock to 7 o'clock on like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Thursday and Friday you get towards the weekend and it's not good. So like Monday through Wednesday, like anywhere from like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock to 7 o'clock at night. That's when you want to post your videos to get max traffic. So some quick tips for any of you guys who are wanting to make YouTube videos. I'm not gonna go into this too much, but some just quick things to remember. Utilize tags. This goes for Facebook as well. If you really want to make something go viral and you put it up, there's always like a tag section. Throw in like a bunch of random tags, even if you think you don't need them. Just throw in as many random topics as you can come up with. That'll help broaden the search appeal. Choose a solid thumbnail. This is like the picture that comes up like when you're clicking on the video. There's like a little screenshot, so always pick the best screenshot you can that really looks interesting and kind of tells what the video's about. keep your videos short. 1 to 2 minutes is the best, and what we see as the best success with something going viral. Everyone has short attention spans, myself included, so you want to keep your videos short. And finally, link to your page with annotations. So if you put up a video and it starts going viral, a lot of times if you're not prepared, you kind of waste an opportunity. So when we put up the like the zombie prank video with my sister, we really weren't expecting it to like blow up. And I woke up and it had like 1 million views, and we're like, oh my gosh, like we should have been ready for this. So we missed out a huge opportunity to drive people to subscribe to our page or to go watch our other videos. So you always make sure that when people are looking at your stuff, they are being drawn to click on other videos that you have posted, or on other, like if you have a blog, drive them to your blog. If you have, whatever it is, if people are going to your Twitter page, whatever it is. So you really want to link to that in your video, or just in the bio. And monetize your videos. This is really easy to do, but for any of you guys who are wanting to do YouTube, it's really easy to set up a quick AdSense account and become a YouTube partner, and you can start monetizing your videos. You get anywhere from like a penny to 3 pennies per 1,000 views, which, or I forget exactly what it is, but you can make relatively good money if you do happen to have something go viral. And you become a YouTube partner, which sounds really cool, so you can throw it on a resume. It's like really easy. It takes like 10 minutes to sign up to become a YouTube partner. And you throw in your resume and you're like, oh, I'm a YouTube partner, like at an interview or like on a college application. And it sounds like really prestigious. You're like, dang, like they're a YouTube partner. Doesn't really mean anything, but it sounds cool. So when you guys are applying to colleges, that helps. Random things like that. Any questions that you guys have just about social media in general, or about video content, digital stuff, anything you guys have, I'd be happy to answer. Yep. My opinion on websites like 4chan. For those of you who don't know what 4chan is, don't go look it up right now, because it's, no. I kind of put like 4chan and Reddit and like those kind of things in the same boat. I think they can be very useful politically, but a lot of times you run the risk of it can get really messy. I mean, like 4chan and Reddit can get really, really mean. And, like there's so many trolls on there that like on the campaign and stuff, we would always try and stay away from those two, just because they can drive traffic, but you're much more likely to have a bunch of people just like troll you and end up becoming like an internet meme. So if you are successfully able to navigate 4chan without getting stuck into the bowels of the internet, go for it. But just be careful. Reddit, I would say Reddit is safer than 4chan. Reddit, because Reddit is somewhat more monitored. But if, by all means, yeah, put your video on Reddit. But I wouldn't advise spending too much time like politically. I guess it depends what you're looking for. But I don't want to say completely don't go there. But I would be weary of 4chan personally from just some things going there. Yep. Yes, so again, every state varies. Even if it is an all-party consent state, there are ways around it. So again, I have no idea what the Illinois laws are, like the specific laws for each thing. I would say just look it up, because like some states, like Pennsylvania is technically an all-party consent state, but if like the door is open in the room, then it's no longer all-party consent. So like, because they say someone could have been listening from the hallway, so you're good to film them if the door is open. So like, every state has random laws that make it okay to film people. So I would just look up the laws. But ultimately, and it could change for high school too. Like you don't want to film a high school teacher and then you're getting suspended because they have like a strict uniform policy. So ultimately though, if you do have video or recording of your teacher really, coming after you, or conservatives are coming after you, the school is not going to be as likely to punish you, because it could be really bad press for them if you say, wow, this school suspended a kid for just getting proof of a teacher harassing him, or her. So it goes both ways. But I would just say look up the state laws, because every state is somewhat different. But yeah. Question here? Yeah. Yeah, so the question is about collabing and just kind of working with other people who already are more established on YouTube. That's the best way. in my opinion, besides getting like a huge random mega viral video, the best way to build a subscriber base is through collabing. And so, I mean, just cold contacting people, reaching out to them, trying to find people who already have something in common with you. Like, so if you are collabing, reach out to other young politically minded people or other people that do whatever types of video it is you make. Just like reaching them on their YouTube account or their Gmail account. Kind of we're going to be collabing with a few different pages, and I didn't reach out to them. They just randomly emailed us, and I'm like, oh, this is cool. So just kind of give a pitch of what you had in mind, give them some ideas. But collabing, I think, is always a good idea, and it helps you meet like-minded people. And the same goes for Twitter and Facebook. One of the best ways to increase your reach on Twitter, especially, is just looking up people that agree with you on certain issues and people that are in the movement. So go and follow everyone who's here, follow each other, stay in touch with each other, because years down the road, you guys are going to be part of the same movement, so you want to make sure you're staying in touch. And it's a great way to build your following too, because people who are in the same movement as you are much more likely to retweet your content, to contribute to your content. So make sure you guys are doing that, collabing with each other and playing off. Don't try and do it all on your own. It's much more difficult. Use the resources, use the people that you have around you. So collabing is awesome. Yep. Has Cameron's form been censored by Twitter or Facebook? Maybe not overtly. We've had things like flagged, where people will flag it a bunch just to troll us, but we haven't had anything where, like a Milo type thing, where they banned our account or anything. We did have one of our reporters get banned from Milo, Cassie Dillon. I don't know if you guys know her. She was temporarily banned from Twitter for tweeting the exact same things that actress, who's the actress that got suspended, or that got, the girl from Ghostbusters, Leslie Jones. So she got suspended. So Cassie Dillon tweeted the exact same things that she tweeted, and ended up getting suspended herself, which kind of showed that Twitter has a political bias and they're going to shut down conservatives. We've had, maybe I could say we've experienced stuff where we have had links to things that haven't gone trending, where we think on Facebook like, wow, this really should be trending, like everyone's talking about it. And things that are much less popular have been trending that are just more liberal. But Facebook did get caught for that a couple months ago, so I think that'll start changing. But I wouldn't say, besides Cassie, one of our reporters, I don't think we've experienced any direct shutdown from Twitter. Question? Yeah, so dealing with Twitter altercations, a lot of it just depends on personal preference. If you are someone who, when I was first getting on Twitter, if I would get in, in a debate with somebody on Twitter and they would say mean things about me, it would honestly bother me for like a day. Like, it would legitimately bother me if people started saying mean things. So I stopped for a bit. And then as I kind of did more things, and it didn't bother me as much when people come after me, so I was more comfortable getting in these discussions. They can be productive, and they can kind of help increase your following, because when people will see a big Twitter discussion going on, they'll go through and read a lot of your stuff, and if they agree with you, they're much more likely to follow you, promote your content. So it can be a very effective way to, if you're doing it respectfully and logically and knowledgeably, it can be an effective way to build your own network. But you don't want to get into the weeds with people where you're throwing personal insults at them or anything like that, which I'm sure you aren't doing. But you can end up making, I know a lot of people who, and this goes for both sides, Trump people and Hillary people, who make their candidate look much worse. We all know those people who are like constantly debating on Facebook or Twitter that just make their candidate look worse. But I wouldn't advise against it. I know some people are like, oh, no one's view has ever changed because of a Twitter argument. Maybe the person you're arguing won't change their mind, but people who are on the fence, if they do see a logically presented argument, I do think it can change minds. So I would say just do it respectfully, do it knowledgeably, and yeah, just be safe. Don't. If they start doing physical stuff, you don't need to report that, like threatening you. Just stop, like right away. So be safe. But yeah, I think we got time for a couple more questions. Yeah, question. Did she write that down, or did she tell you that in person? Yeah. So, again, this is something we see a lot. He had a teacher who took points off of an assignment because she disagreed with him personally on the death penalty. That's something that happens all the time, and it's exactly what we're fighting at Turning Point and at Campus Forum, because we see that all the time, especially at colleges. Again, I think it's easier at colleges because you can record people. I don't want to tell you to like record your teacher in high school if it is something that's going to get you in trouble like with your school. But ultimately, I would say either go to an administrator or record them, and don't necessarily like publish whatever you did go to the principal. Okay. Of course, they supported the teacher. We're taking it. So that that is a reason why if no one will listen to you, it can be beneficial to record what's going on. Again, I think it's a case-by-case basis. I don't want to give like a sweeping answer and say that everyone should record if people are comfortable with that. But if you are comfortable with it and kind of comfortable with some of the risk, because it's not just about you, it's about students down the road and other students at your school, and I'm sure even in your district who are experiencing this. But if you are able to take a stand and bring it to the attention of people, it can help, hundreds of conservative students. So I think it is worth considering, at least in the future, trying to record it and present it to your administrator, or present it to, if they won't listen, going to, a lawyer, or going to the press about it, and trying to really make a change. That's a great way to fight back. It's holding teachers accountable to the point where they're like, oh dang, like I don't want to do this because that teacher over 3 towns over got, just skewed in the media for doing this, so I don't want to keep doing this. So it's a great way to hold teachers accountable. But a couple more questions. All right, cool. I will be just hanging around down here. Make sure you guys fill up both sides of those blue sheets we handed out, and we'll be able to stay in touch with you guys, and then pass into the aisles if you could. And then I'll be hanging around down here at the front. We'd love to meet you guys. Yeah, thanks guys.